Hi, Sensei here, and welcome back to another keyboard video. Today we're not actually going to be doing a keyboard build. We're actually going to be talking about the KBD Fans switch foam. The keyboard I have here today is the NK65 Midnight Purple Aluminum Edition. So first we're going to talk about these switch foams a little bit. I saw them a couple weeks ago in stock on KBD Fans. I was like, what the heck are these? I've never knew switch foam existed before, so I decided to try them out. Got a few packs, and these come in hot swap and soldered versions, so they're not universal, so don't get them mixed up. Let's talk about this keyboard right now. This has been my daily driver for a month and a half, and this is the NK65 Midnight Purple Aluminum Edition. Before I get into the keyboard, I want to talk about the case a little bit. This case comes with the keyboard, so if you buy any NK products, either the entry or the aluminum edition, it will come with this case. The case itself is pretty high quality, but there's two things about this case that I don't really like about it. One of them being the back has no handle, so you can't really like grab it and carry it around. If you wish to actually carry it, if you're gonna have to hold it up like this all the time. So I'd suggest you to put this in a bag if you can. Second thing is the straps. These two straps are just trash because the main problem with them is once you take them off, they'll immediately flip back on. They'll just flip back to their position. So if you want to actually take out the keyboard, you have to hold these straps and then take it out, which bothers me a lot. I would recommend just cutting this off if you do plan on using this case. So enough about the case. Now let's talk about the keyboard. So, let's talk about the keyboard a little bit. There's an entry edition of this keyboard, but mine is the aluminum edition. The aluminum edition is slightly more expensive. Let's talk about the outside case. This keyboard is a super solid one. Novel Keys, they've been in the business in a long time, so they know what they're doing. This keyboard is fully made out of aluminum, pretty solid in the hand, and it's a very safe design. If you look at the design, it's a very square, plain kind of, safe design as a board. The back piece is very large, so this is one of the few keyboards that you can just make it stand on its back without even touching it, and it will just not fall. So, let's talk about the disadvantages of the keyboard. So the advantage of this keyboard is a simple design. There's nothing too flashy. Like it will fit most people's setups with a simple design, but since it's safe and simple, there's nothing surprising about it. So it's like if you're a person who really wants to show off your character, want to show off who you are, this is not the keyboard for you because it's pretty plain. Nobody's going to turn heads when you take it out of your bag. On the back, we have this simple Novel Keys branding on the back, which is really nice. And then the 2 feet are actually pretty nice. They're actually a lot better than a lot of other keyboards that I've seen, and even some at higher price range. So that's basically the keyboard. No surprise, but nothing disappointing. A high quality, simple designed keyboard. Another thing that I dislike about this keyboard is the plate mount stabilizers. If you tune them right, you can actually get them to sound pretty well, but I still prefer PCB, mounted screw-in stabilizers. So those were one of the things I dislike about the keyboard. Next, let's talk about the keycaps. These are GMK Mito laser keycaps from Drop. And this is one of the few GMK keycaps I believe are in stock in Drop, which actually blows my mind because the fact that in stock GMK keycaps could actually exist is actually kind of insane. The keycaps themselves are very high quality. A lot of people question whether GMK keycaps are worth it or not. I'd say typing on them, they're very high quality so obviously there's a reason why they're expensive. But whether or not you think that they are worth it, I suggest that you buy one set to try it out. Because the texture and the typing on the GMK sets is just different compared to other ABS and PBT keycaps that you see more often. So I highly recommend you to purchase one set that you really like and type on it to test it out. And if you like it enough, you'll probably just buy every single GMK keycap set that you see that comes out of its group buys. I'm pretty sure this is in stock and you're able to just get it in a couple days. So the switches that I'm using is a hybrid Holy Panda. The stem is from the Halo Trues from Drop, and the body is from the Glorious Pandas. So I actually never tried out the Ivory Holy Pandas from Drop. I didn't hear amazing things about them, so I was kind of hesitant whether or not I should get them, and they were not in stock by the time I was looking. And then Glorious came with these Panda switches, and people said that they were similar to the Ivory one, so I got those instead. And I happened to just have some Halo True, switches anyways, because I purchased the Drop Alt High Profile. I didn't really like the stem on the Glorious Pandas. It was orange, so I just instantly replaced them with the Halo Trues, and they honestly feel really similar to the Drop Pandas after the hybrid one. So I have a decent idea of what the Ivory Holy Pandas would like feel like. I feel like they're gonna have like slight differences, but they're mostly the same. I lubed these with Crytox 105 grade zeros instead of 205s, and I feel like that they are like smooth but insanely tactile. So maybe if I ever use switches like these again, I'd probably consider lubing the body with 205 grade zeros instead. So that's basically the keyboard, pretty high quality, fully aluminum build, aluminum body, aluminum plate. Then we have the stupid fish design plate foam on the top, silicone dampeners on the bottom, GMK keycap sets, hybrid Holy Panda switches. And honestly, for this entire build, I know that the keyboard and mechanical keyboard community enthusiasts, like custom keyboard community, can be a little bit pricey. But honestly, if I saw this keyboard specifically like on a shelf at Walmart, I would set the price at $180 if I was a consumer. I might be crazy, but that's just the way how I see it. All right, so that was the sound test of the before, and now let's do a sound test after applying KBD fan switch foams onto the keyboard. All right. So comparing the before and after, personally, I didn't really notice a huge difference between the two, especially the sound. I don't think there was any difference made in the sound. To me, it was really hard to notice any difference. And one thing I will say is that there was a very slight difference in typing feel. I think that it made the overall typing feel a little bit tighter, like a very, very tiny difference. So that gives me the idea that maybe this would be more useful for half plate and plateless keyboard builds. Half plate and plateless are just either there's a large cut where you just don't have a plate where you just put your switches directly, solder them directly onto the PCB. You could use hot swap, but I feel like soldering is a much better option for plateless. So with those keyboards, I feel like these KBD fan switch foams might actually work better, have a more significant difference, but I would recommend buying the solder version of these. Do I recommend these? I'd say yes. If you're gonna buy something from KBD fans anyways, you might as well just add 2 or 3 packs of these into your cart. I think 2 or 3 packs is around $10 something. I mean, you're buying a $500 keyboard, so you can definitely throw in the extra $10 and put these in your cart. The worst thing that could happen is that no changes have been made, just basically nothing. So there's no risks really. If there's any improvements at all that you feel like, then that would be a good thing, because that would be worth the money that you spent. One thing I would say is that applying these took way more effort than I thought it would, because I had to stick one onto each socket on the PCB. That actually took way more time than I expected. So there's going to be some labor time spent, but besides that, it's something I would recommend you trying out, and maybe you'll find a better way of applying these than I will, and you'll find some kind of secret behind them. For me, the improvements and the changes are very subtle, but nothing felt worse. At the same time, hard to say if anything actually improved. So I recommend grabbing them, but I don't want you to expect anything like any major differences or anything amazing out of these. All right, that's the end of this keyboard episode. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.